Welcome to episode 5 of Nonlinear Storybits. In today's episode, I was just recently inspired by a story to test out a pickled celery recipe because pickled celery was apparently one of the most favorite dishes of Weizheng. Weizheng was a highly respected and valued politician and historian by Tang Taizong, who was the emperor in the 7th century, the second emperor of the Tang Dynasty. How Weizheng came to serve under Tang Taizong while he was still Qin Wang actually also deserves a quick story bit. Tang Taizong, or Li Shiming was his given name, his actual name, was the second son of Emperor Gaozu, the founder of the Tang Dynasty. His older brother was the crown prince then. As time went on, the political rivalry heated up to the point that both brothers saw each other as a serious, even life-threatening force. The crown prince attempted many times to kill or assassinate Li Shiming, which Li Shiming often just barely evaded. Eventually, at the famous Xuanwu Gate incident, or Xuanwumen Zhibian, Xuanwumen is one of the gates in the capital. Zhibian means an incident or campaign. Li Shiming shot an arrow through the crown prince as he was preparing to enter the palace and pressured Emperor Gaozu to title him Li Shiming as the new crown prince. This Xuanwumen Zhibian is probably that one speck in Li Shiming's otherwise peaceful and flourishing reign, also known as the Golden Age of Chinese history. His reign of Zhenguan, or Zhenguan Zhizhi. Zhenguan is his era name. Zhizhi means the reign of or rule of, is considered to be the role model for all future crown princes to study. So what role did Weizheng play in all of this? Well, he was actually one of the main strategists and politicians who aligned with the previous crown prince and came up with many of the ideas of assassinating the then Prince of Qin. After Li Shiming successfully became the crown prince, he knew that he needed to find people that were in particularly talented and capable to help him rule the country. He immediately thought of Weizheng. That in itself is actually pretty impressive, considering Weizheng was the one who was trying to get him killed. When Li Shiming found Weizheng, he was already tied up by all of his other guards and officials. When Li Shiming walked up to him and asked Weizheng, "Why did you attempt to alienate my brothers and I?" Basically, why did you encourage my brother to kill me? Weizheng, without hesitation, admitted boldly, "If the previous crown prince had listened to my suggestion and strengthened his resolve to kill you, he would not be in this disaster. AKA, you, Li Shiming, would be dead by now, let alone now titled as the crown prince." All of the guards and officials' internal monologue were along the lines of, "And Weizheng is dead." But to everyone's surprise, Li Shiming gave a hearty laugh and came to personally untie Weizheng and treated with him respect and invited Weizheng to be part of his cabinet. Weizheng's boldness and fortitude to speak continued to be one of his most impressive aspects, even against Li Shiming when he eventually did become the emperor. And to Tang Taizong's credit, although sometimes, actually a lot of times, when Weizheng's words were kind of, sort of, piercing, actually more like a direct stab to the heart, he always listened to what Weizheng had to say, knowing that it came from his heart of wanting to serve the country and the people. For example, one time, Tang Taizong received a hunting falcon, which he really, really liked, and was training it when he saw Weizheng walking toward his direction off at a distance. He really was not in the mood to hear Weizheng talk about the proprieties of a ruler, how this could be a bad example, or what a ruler ought to do instead, and stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. So, Tang Taizong quickly hid the falcon into the sleeve of his robe. This did not escape Weizheng's eyes. But instead of directly lecturing Tang Taizong about that falcon, He took his good old time recounting important news from the northern and the southern to the west to the eastern regions, to potential new strategies or laws that should be enacted, to how the harvest was this year, to trade, to the markets, the economy, to the economics, and everything else possible. Tang Taizong so wanted Weizheng to hit the main points and leave, but he respected Weizheng and knew that everything he said were things that he, as an emperor, should know and plan for. After a solid many hour discussion, Weizheng finally took his leave. Tang Taizong quickly took the falcon out of his sleeve, only to find that it had suffocated and died. Although he really liked this falcon, at the same time, he could not make himself punish Weizheng because he knew that Weizheng was just trying to make a point about how to be a good ruler. Another time the conversation got heated, Tang Taizong practiced the good rule of walking away before he could accidentally order Weizheng's head to be cut off. His empress in the back asked him why he was so angry. Tang Taizong ranted that he had enough of Weizheng. He never minces any words. I'm the emperor, the person with the highest honor and authority. Who does he think he is? The empress nodded and left the room. When she came back, she was dressed to the T. Probably a good 30 to 40, maybe 50 pounds of heavy embroidered dress and robes and gold headpieces and more. Tang Taizong was thoroughly confused. The empress said, I've heard people describe the ideal relationship between a ruler and a subject is that the ruler is wise and the subject is loyal. Your Highness, you are wise. Because of that, Weizheng can be loyal and have the integrity and the courage and present even the ugliest truth to you. How can I not be happy and not dress up for this since this is the ideal case? With these incidents happening end times, Tang Taizong did want to, get a little bit even with Weizheng and find something fun to poke Weizheng about. He eventually found out that Weizheng particularly liked a pickled celery dish. One time at a banquet, Tang Taizong presented 3 plates of a pickled celery dish in front of Weizheng. Before any of the other dishes were even finished, those 3 dishes were already devoured. When Tang Taizong saw this, he beamed and internally was just like, I got you, I found it. But on the outside, he said to Weizheng, I always thought nothing could tempt you, but now I see that pickled celery seems to be that thing. I'm adding that internal monologue for Tang Taizong. He's probably like, and you keep on lecturing me about the stuff that I enjoy. My poor bird. But Weizheng is Weizheng for a reason. He replied, 君无为，故无所好。臣直计从事，独为此收敛物. Which basically means, 君, or the ruler, 无为. 无为 actually refers to a Taoist concept here, meaning something along the lines of following that natural path or the right path, so therefore has no partiality. 故无所好. 故 is basically therefore, 无 none, 所好 preference, therefore I have no preference. So this whole line basically means because, or when there is a self-disciplined ruler who focuses on how to better serve the country, his role model, that ruler's role model, lends itself so that I, Weizheng, also have no preferences. Chen, meaning officer, 直计, or hold ideas, 从事 follows work. Basically, because I'm an officer whose job responsibilities at work involve policy making and other laws that also better serve the country and people, 独, or only, 为此, to this item, do I have a particularly enjoyment, which is a 收敛物. This is a restricting or humbling, or it actually refers to a aspect from traditional Chinese medicine about sour foods. So this second line basically means Because I'm an officer whose job responsibilities at work involve policymaking and other laws that are also to better serve the country and the people, therefore I enjoy celery, which is humble in origin, yet symbolizes discipline and development of inner character, so he can better serve the people and the country. The illocutionary force of this response to Tang Taizong is basically, you are the ruler of this entire country, yet you have the time and energy to chit-chat with me about these kind of insignificant things. I hope you can realign your priorities and focus on your country. And so this is the story of Weizheng and celery, and an example of 忠诚, I guess, or loyal subject, but also just a fun story about a really good debater or excuse finder, and how Weizheng just always wanted to make sure that Tang Taizong did not fall on the wrong path. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Nonlinear Storybits, and I'll see you next time.